I'd like to welcome you to our study in the book of Philippians. The theme of the book of Philippians is unconditional joy. The Apostle Paul teaches us his prayer in the book of Philippians, the first chapter, verse number 9. And this is what the Apostle Paul writes to the Philippians. He says this, "And this I pray, that your love may abound still more and more in knowledge and in all discernment." What's the Apostle Paul praying for the Philippians? Let me just go back and remind you that the Apostle Paul has a very close relationship with the people in Philippi. He's written several letters to the people in Philippi. He's visited there several times. And the Apostle Paul has a very good relationship with the people in Philippi. But he writes to them and he says, this is what I'm praying for. This is what I'm going to the Father, and this is what I'm praying and asking that the Father would do in you. And notice what he says, that your love might abound. Now, the word abound there means to exceed all boundaries, to go beyond the top, to go beyond being filled. And so the Apostle Paul is praying, and he's not praying that the church would grow. He's not praying for the leadership. He's not praying for finances for the church. He's praying that the church would abound, that in love. Now, the word love here is the Greek word agape. It means an unconditional type of love. And so we need to understand that the Apostle Paul is thinking that one of the things that churches need is they need to abound in love. They need to go over the top in love. Now, notice what he says, that your love may abound still more and more. Not just a little bit more, but more and more. More and more, he's actually increasing the abundance of the love that the church in Philippi and that we as believers need to be walking in. And so he says that your love may abound more and more. And then he says something that's amazing. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard this phrase, love is blind? It's not. It's not blind. You know, we've done a lot of marriage counseling, and one of the things that we would do for pre-marriage counseling, that is we would ask the partners, the two people that are getting married, what is the faults and the weaknesses of your soon-to-be mate? What do you mean? I don't know. I don't. And one of the things that we realized is that when someone didn't see faults and weaknesses in the person they were getting married, they were delusional. They were heading for some big struggles in their marriage. You see, love comes in knowledge. It comes in knowing everything about that person. The word here for knowledge is the Greek word epignosis. And it means a knowledge that is full, a full understanding of that person. You see, love is not conditional. Love comes knowing everything about that person. It comes in full knowledge of that person. Because love is not a feeling, it's a decision that you're going to make. Love is not a feeling, it's an act of your will. And so the Apostle Paul here is praying, and he's saying, this is my prayer for the church at Philippi, that your love would abound more and more in knowledge. And then he goes on and he says this, and in all discernment. And in all discernment. What's the Apostle Paul talking about here? Discernment means in perception. It means that to perceive with external senses is one of the ways that Greek scholars put it. In other words, you're looking at this person and you are understanding everything about them, but you are still loving that person. You're still loving them. You see, the Apostle Paul is telling us that love is not blind. Love looks at a person and knows everything about them. Love looks at a person and it sees all their external flaws and still loves them. And brothers and sisters, let me say this. This rules out this thing of sloppy agape. Right? We just love each other. You know what? The agape love of God looks at a person, and it looks very realistic at a person and says, you know what? I see your faults. I see what you're doing externally. I see the way you're acting, but I have made this decision. I'm going to love you anyway. Now, verse number 10 says this, so that you may approve of the things that are excellent, that you may approve or recognize that they are genuine, recognize upon examination that they are genuine, so that you can recognize, approve that the things that are excellent. Let me just say this to you. Hatred causes you to be blind. When you hate somebody, you know what? You're not looking at them and discerning. You're not looking them at knowledge. You are blinded. But when you love them with an unconditional love, you know what? You get to the point where you can approve, where you can test what is excellent. You can see that inside of them, there's something there that is excellent. And then he goes on and he says, in order to be sincere and blameless until the day of Christ. Sincere. Sincere where? Well, we take it in context. Sincere in your love. And blameless. The word blameless actually means there's no place to hang an accusation. You see, we as believers need to understand that we need to love people. We need to abound. We need to go over the top in our love for others. Join us again tomorrow as we continue this study in the book of Philippians.